Greetings. My name is Adrienne Johnson, and I'm a doctoral student at Liberty University. Today I will be speaking to you about human performance technology and educational technology with a focus on adult learning. The coronavirus 19 pandemic drastically impacted instructional methodologies and learning environments. Due to social distancing restrictions, educators and students were forced to abruptly shift, or as we say, pivot, to distance learning on digital platforms. The online learning environment and instructional technology were at the forefront. The epidemic highlighted the need for high-quality education for all learners in all ages, as well as a requirement for more high-performing and flexible teaching and learning methodologies. And that's from the report 208644 Horizons report. Adult learning theories and their roles in shaping online learning and instruction deserve more attention. The study of adult learning theories, combined with in-depth analysis psychologically in human resource literature, will enable researchers to delve deeper into the subject. In addition to the business industry, educational environments have become more dependent upon online learning. It is vital to focus on on the course design process and accountability of human performance. That's Song and Kid 2009. So today I want to talk more about defining what is human performance technology, HPT, what is online learning, just provide additional information about that. Looking at a strategy for implementing HPT in an online learning environment, a quick dive into adult learning, and also looking at the andragogy implementation. According to Fields 2019, nationally, 1/3 of adults ages 65 and older say they've never used the internet, and half don't have internet access at home. Of those who do use the internet, nearly half say they need someone else's help to set up or use a new digital device. Mastering digital technology has become a key component of what it means to fully participate in society. If we do not provide technology access and training to older adults, we shut them out from society, worsening an already worrisome trend of isolation and loneliness among the elderly. And also in San Francisco, the home of technology giants like Twitter, Facebook, and Google, do you believe that 40% of older adults do not have basic digital literacy skills? And of those, more than half do not use the internet at all. That's quite alarming. So I want you to just think about yourselves. I can think about at the beginning of the pandemic last year, when our organization had to evaluate all of the training that impacts the military, and we had to evaluate the current uh, instructional methodology and and we had to move a lot of courses to an online platform. And also think about how you might have been impacted personally or in the workplace. And I can remember an introduction of the new Microsoft Teams, and I was told to schedule a meeting. Well, I wasn't really sure how. So we find ourselves in this situation where training is absolutely necessary in order to continue to use digital tools. So what is online learning? Online learning is basically is education that takes place over the internet. It is often referred to as e-learning, among other terms. It is just one type of distance learning. It's the umbrella term for any learning that takes place across distance and not in a traditional classroom. So it's a simple definition. It's just a learning that's over the internet. The continued increase of remote education using online learning delivery methods has necessitated the development of new instructional and design strategies. And currently, I am employed as an instructional systems specialist. So this is firsthand knowledge. The course design process is critical to the advancement of online education. New course design approaches have been incorporated because of greater answerability from certifying organizations and the public, giving online education more meaning and relevance. And we find the use of that for everything, especially in the workplace, to learn a new skill. You may have to sign up for online training, uh, lots of mandatory training at work. Uh, we use what they call CBTs, computer-based training. So there's definitely an increase in the use of online learning. What is adult online learning? So we know online learning specifically is just learning over the internet, but we want to look closely at what is adult online learning. So adult online learning is one of the most rapidly developing parts of the educational world. Literature regarding this topic can be a little fragmentary. But as stated by Western Governors University, 2020, adult learning is a circumstance in which adults seek to further their education. This can be done in a formal context, such as a university, a trade school, apprenticeship, and that is what on adult online learning. HBT. So human performance technology is a systematic and principled procedure to increase organizational and personal productivity through coordinated interventions with performance measures. And so the importance of this is, for example, with designing instruction for adult learners, we want to ensure that it includes strategies to increase not only knowledge but performance, and especially when it comes to using computers and other hands-on tasks. An HBT strategy frequently consists of several therapies and on addressing various causes of a performance issue. So basically, you identify a performance gap, and that's when you implement the human performance technology strategies. So looking closely at, as we were saying, implementing in educational technology, according to Song and Kidd 2009, constructivist ideas are based or are used in the plan of online courses and programs to take advantage of the students' aptitude to construct knowledge while assessing past knowledge. The technique promotes the learner's knowledge construction. So we look at constructivism as a student-centered learning environment in which the student takes control of the learning process rather than the instructor. So the instructor serves merely as a facilitator at that point. The design is focused on learning and the student. So again, you have to consider, in this case, the adult learner, that adults learn differently than children. The learners have more opportunities for engagement since they are working on tasks that are authentic, relevant, and useful outside of the classroom. So we have some pioneers in adult learning. So according to Green and Larson, 2018, they refer to adult learning as andragogy, and that Edward Linderman, an important theorist in the field of andragogy, he credited Rosenstock Hennessy with defining the term as separate from pedagogy. Andragogy represents the learning process as one in which theory and practice become one, a process according to which theoretical knowledge and practical affairs become and resolved in experience. Andragogy was not popularized until over 4 decades later when Malcolm Knowles, who is considered the father of andragogy, published The Modern Practice of Adult Education, Andragogy versus Pedagogy. He viewed adult learners as self-directed and autonomous, and the role of the instructor is to facilitate attainment and construction of knowledge. Another pioneer in adult learning is David Kolb. The text states that David Kolb's adult learning methodology is highly recognized by the educational community. It is experiential learning model clarified in 4 poles of student learning styles. So one, we have experimental learning, which is an awakening pole. We have the observation that is reflective, which is observing. Conceptualization is in the abstract, which is the practicing phase or pole, as well as experimentation on the go, and that's where we're applying in that pole. According to Green and Larson, 2018, each of these talents is part of the learning cycle that repeats itself over and over again. Virtual andragogy. So according to the text, virtual andragogy combines and aligns the key tenets of Bloom's revised taxonomy, andragogy, transformational learning, constructivism, and communities of practice into a single conceptual framework which guides the instructional design and facilitation of online learning for adult students, as described by Green and Larson, 2018. Virtual andragogy depicts the spiraling of the learner's journey from novice to fully engaged, masterful practitioner, lovingly, behaviorally, and intellectually. The contrast of the individual components of Bloom's revised taxonomy with the associated tenets of andragogy fuels this process in knowledge, skill, misunderstanding, and application. The whole learning experience and performance will not be realized unless all of the elements are engaged. And that's Green and Larson, 2018. And those elements include readiness to learn and understanding, need to know and remembering, experience and applying, and lastly, orientation to learning and analyzing self-concept and evaluating, and motivation to learn and create. So in conclusion, emerging technology constantly expands the opportunities for online learning and performance outcomes to fuel the evolution of distance education. As the online learning methodology continues, the curriculum must be designed appropriately to yield not only knowledge, but performance. Despite the challenges, it is to the advantage of the educational system and society to continue to expose learners, regardless of the age, to as many emerging technologies as possible in order for us to remain globally competitive. Subject to any questions, that concludes my quick, brief talk to you today. Thank you. Thank you.